Welcome. Thank you for joining me. We just heard the news. Donald Sutherland is no more. Today is 20th of June 2024 and he died earlier today. So Donald Sutherland, famous actor. So if you're a movie buff, tell me something about Donald Sutherland. What are the movies that you enjoyed? I remember when I was still growing up, the first movie that I enjoyed of his was The Dirty Dozen. He played a fabulous role in The Dirty Dozen, and then in Kelly's Heroes. So I remember those two, and then The Hunger Games. I don't know much about his other movies, but let's go very briefly through his very varied and vast life. He's got about 200 movies to his credit. Very tall person, 6'3" tall. The late Donald Sutherland cast a little figurative shadow for more than 50 years, 5 decades in the movie industry. The lesson to learn is you must do what you love and you must love what you do. So the lesson for young children growing up in school and careers, find something that you are passionate about. Whether it's a doctor or an actor or a carpenter or a lawyer or an accountant or whatever you're going to do, you must be passionate about that and do it for the rest of your life. If you're passionate about something, then it's no longer work. So as what Donald Sutherland has shown, that for 50 years, he really enjoyed what he was doing and he loved what he was doing. And in that, his hobby became his profession. He was born in 1935 in New Brunswick. He was a radio news reporter in his youth. And I didn't know this. He's a Canadian citizen originally. He graduated from the University of Toronto with a degree in engineering. Look at the intelligent fellow. Normally, you won't expect this from actors. He got a degree in engineering. So he did not become an engineer. He did not spend 50 years as an engineer. He did not build bridges and roads and construct houses and skyscrapers. But he turned to acting. Because although he studied, he found that engineering wasn't his love. So my advice that I give to students when they come to the brain training workshops is that even though you're going through an academic career, even if you're not sure, either take a gap year after school or find something that you enjoy. And then even if that a career is, if you account for 3 or 4 years and you find that's not for you, change it and do something that you love. If you do something that you love, then it's no longer a burden. But sometimes you're forced to do something even if you don't love it, because why? You need bread on the table, you need food, you need a job, and today's economy is very bad. So sometimes when you got a job, not everyone can be Donald Sutherland. So if you got your career, don't just give it up. Stick to what you have. Fall back on it. Always have a plan B. So even though he had a degree in engineering, Donald Sutherland, then very soon the acting bug got hold of him, and he left native Canada and went to London in 1957. He studied for a short while at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art, and then he spent 2 years at Perth. How do you pronounce this word? Repertory Theatre in Scotland. Repertory Theatre in Scotland. Someone can tell me the pronunciation. So Donald Sutherland appeared in Dr. Terror's House of Horrors in 1965. He had small roles in British film and TV. For example, Christopher Lee in the horror films, the Living Dead horror movie series. Other roles include the series in The Saint. It was in the strength of that series in The Saint that Sutherland landed his breakthrough role in World War II action film The Dirty Dozen. Lee Marvin, Charles Bronson, the bald fellow Telly Savalas, and other actors in The Dirty Dozen. Sutherland was not the first choice to play the soldier Vernon Pinkley out of 12 outcasts chosen by Lee Marvin's major for a suicide mission behind enemy lines. But they were so impressed with his impersonation of the general that they said, no, he's got to have the role. Then Sutherland had an eye-catching performance in MASH, M-A-S-H, a satirical comedy about medics in the Korean War. And that was a medics movie, and I loved medic movies. And then he landed another war film hero as appropriately named Sergeant Oddball in Kelleys Heroes. What a fabulous movie. I remember the time when he had his big mustache coming out of the tank and just shooting people with a tank of his. The 1970s saw him play an IRA member in The Eagle Has Landed, a pot-smoking college professor in National Lampoon's Animal House, and the lead in the 1978 remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Sutherland kept up his prodigious work rate in the 1990s appearing in such films as Backdraft, JFK, 6 Degrees of Separation, and A Time to Kill. In recent years, however, his role as President Snow in the Hunger Game franchise has seen him embraced by a new generation of film fans. He has starred with Jennifer Lawrence in the Hunger Game films. He was never nominated for an Oscar but received an honorary Academy Award in 2017. So tell me some about your thoughts about Donald Sutherland or any other movie star. Who do you think in today's generation should get like a nomination? Or who are your top 10 celebrities in the world? Taylor Swift, she is on the number one list. Angelina Jolie. Then we have Meryl Streep. There's so many fabulous actors. Tell me who's your favorite stars and take it and let's hear from you. I'd love to hear your comments. Stay well, look after yourself, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and thank you for your support. Look after yourself.